Welcome to the Jaron Jarvis channel. I am Jaron Jarvis. Today, I would like to introduce to you, I think my grandma is haunting me. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say I don't believe in the paranormal. Because I 100% believe. I think ghosts, demons, fairies and all things of the sort exist. I don't exactly like the thought of a ghost parading around my house, but at the same time thinking it's my loving grandmother made it seem somewhat comforting. This started a few weeks ago. I'm an amateur makeup artist, so I have a decent little collection made for myself. But I really only have a handful of makeup/tools that I regularly use. So I do notice when the items are not where I had put them last. For instance, I have a desk that I use for multiple things. It holds my stereo system, and I'm also an amateur YouTuber with my friend, so I use that desk when I'm editing videos or even just doing my makeup. I don't have a regular desk chair. I actually use this old rocking chair that belonged to my grandmother. It was the chair she sat in every day of her life for 25 years. I'd rather use it as a desk chair than watch it sit in the corner in our living room collecting dust and cat hair. I thought my grandma would prefer that too. Anyways, so when I do my makeup sometimes I'll leave the mirror and the items out because I'm lazy, I suppose. A few weeks back I knew my lipstick was behind the left folding out mirror because earlier that day I had passed by and looked at it and even reminded myself that it would be there. So later when I was doing my makeup I moved the left mirror forward and to my surprise it wasn't there anymore. Honestly, I considered maybe I had just seen things when I had saw it before, but the memory was so vivid I had to have knocked it over and it must have rolled off to some unknown location. I searched the desk and the floor around it and find the lipstick nowhere. I even go as far as putting all of my makeup away and lifting the mirror. I checked around my speakers and still it was nowhere to be found. So I sigh and laugh. Alright grandma, I guess I'll wear a different shade. I mean obviously I had been joking, I didn't seriously think she was around. Why would she? When she could be at the house she and my grandpa had built together screwing around with his new girlfriend for some shits and giggles. But when the next day rolled in and the lipstick appeared on the floor between my rocking chair and desk standing straight up, somewhere I had checked multiple times, I was shaken. How could it have gotten there? Not only that, how could it be standing straight up if I knocked it onto the floor? A few hours of Netflix later I completely forget about the whole ordeal. The next couple weeks adding up to today, nothing really noticeable happened. I have 6 different highlighter palettes. 7 different highlighters in total. No, not the marker you use in school but a makeup tool to highlight features. The first is a combo with a bronzer and blush. It was a very soft gold. The second is a pinkish gold that was in a combo with my third, which was a gold. The fourth was a super pigmented gold. Fifth was a purplish sliver color, the sixth was a white, and the seventh was my newest, a pinkish gold liquid highlighter. I know most of you really don't care about any of that, but I needed to tell you so you will understand what happened next. Admittedly, I'm a very pale person. I spend the majority of time inside. I'm working on several different projects. I'm an aspiring YouTuber, a Wattpad writer, where I write what I feel like is poorly worded stories, but some people like it so. And I'm currently failing at being a weight loss influencer on Instagram. So the only time I really leave the house is when I take my 2-year-old Aussie Shepherd outside to go to the bathroom. Anyway, unless I go pretty heavy with bronzer, which I don't tend to, I'm stuck using my 1st, 5th and 6th highlighters. I've noticed my purple one being misplaced on several occasions, but if I'm going to be honest, it's my favorite one, so I don't really think too much about it. When I say misplaced I mean it's not in my makeup box or where I remember putting. My makeup box has 3 different layers. The top is brushes and eyeliner, then second layer is only eyeshadow, and my third layer, the largest, has a bunch of random items including my highlighters. Even if my makeup box was open it'd pretty much be impossible to get to my highlighters without the top layers removed, and when they are removed it makes the box fall over, so I usually leave them in unless I need something. But, like I said, the purplish sliver highlighter is my favorite one and I use it religiously. So I don't stop to realize all of that. I just assume I left it out in random places, like even once I found it in my closet. I thought it was weird, but I do record in there because it doesn't echo as badly as my room. Anyway, last night I had a dream that I only remember a few parts vividly and that scares me. I had been sitting at my desk, which was pulled up to my bed, instead of in front of my grandma's rocking chair. At the time I really didn't think of that, but now it scares me. In front of me sat a Ouija board. If I'm going to be completely honest, I'm terrified of Ouija boards. I've never personally played with one and I don't ever foresee myself playing with one. So basically in my dream I get the board to say hello, which freaked me out, so I made it say goodbye, but it like slid over the goodbye like 5 times. I don't know what that's supposed to mean, but in my dream I knew it wasn't a good sign. I knew I unleashed something evil, and the rest of what I remember from the dream is me walking around my house experiencing all of these weird and creepy things. When I woke up I felt strange about the dream. My parents are separated and married to other people, but in both houses they had never even allowed talk of a Ouija board. It would get to the point where my mother would go as far as threaten to beat us if we ever even considered to bring one into her house. My brother and I would joke around a lot, and one point this year I told my mom that my brother had gotten one to play in our house. Now it would be less weird if we were like 13 and 16, but our mom went through our things before she would let us go inside our house. My brother is 17 and I'm 19. That's how serious my mom is about keeping it out of her house. So why did I have a dream about playing one, and playing it alone, which I'd gathered from the rules is a big no-no. I spent my day sitting at my desk watching AHS, American Horror Story, on my phone and making DIY destroyed jeans. For that I had a razor blade and tweezers. It's Sunday, so my family and I, went to my grandma's mom's, my great-grandma's, for dinner, and everything was fine and dandy. We had tacos, then went home. When we got home I went back to my DIY task, but I couldn't because the tweezers I'd been using all day went missing. I mean, I'd been sitting at my desk, the only places it could be is on my desk or on the floor. I looked everywhere, even my brother came in to help. He couldn't find them either. At this point I'm frustrated with the disappearance. So my last thought is to lift the chair. It's not light in any means, it's a rocking chair and kinda heavy, but I stopped dead in my tracks. There in this boxed area, where these two poles held the sides of the chair together, if you know what I mean. In that little area is my liquid highlighter. I know you are thinking, okay, that's not weird, you probably just dropped it without noticing. But remember when I said the only 3 highlighters I use was the light gold, white and purplish sliver ones. And if I'm going to be completely honestly, 9 times out of 10 I'm wearing the purple one. Not only that, but the liquid highlighter is in a glass bottle. If I had dropped it I would have heard it clank against the wood floors, and quickly gone to check to see if it had broken. And if I somehow did manage to knock it over without noticing, it wouldn't have been able to get into the spot it was, unless it had bounced over the thick pole, and I would have definitely heard it bounce. Or somebody would have had to put it there. I lifted the chair a little more and showed my brother, I didn't put that there. Rob, I think Grandma is messing around with me. He of course told me to stop. I was pissing him off mentioning her. She and her death was a sore subject for both my brother and I. Ignoring him I said, stop it Grandma, please give my tweezers back. Not even 5 seconds later I had turned around and my face dropped. My brother turns to see what I'm looking at. There on the white part of my blanket sat my black tweezers. Not only would we have noticed that, but we both searched my bed for it. Stop it, you're scaring me, he says. I'm sorry, I'm scared too, I tell him quietly. He made up some stupid excuse and got the hell out of my room. I sat back down in my chair and continue watching AHS and messing with my jeans. Jokingly, I say, alright, prove to me that you are really here. Put my missing ball to my nose ring somewhere, I'll see it. No, it didn't take the ball out of my nose. I had dropped it in my bedroom weeks ago and couldn't find it. It was my only one and I'd appreciate having it back considering my nose piercing is relatively new. I spent the next hour or so watching AHS, and the thought of what I said slowly faded from my mind. That was until I was bored. The thought popped back up, maybe she was being shy because from what I can see in my room it wasn't anywhere. So I decide to take a bathroom break, maybe she'll put it out for me when I come back, I jokingly thought to myself. I mean, it made sense if she came around sometimes, seeing as her chair is in my bedroom. I go to the bathroom. Let me tell you guys, I just graduated high school and I moved 2 states away from my mom's home to be at my dad's home. I don't really have anything to do and I've already decided to take a year off from college, go see if I can pursue my internet dreams, or if I need to get a real education. I'm at home all day every day, I clean the bathroom every day. So when something shiny catches my eye as I leave the bathroom, I'm taken aback. I turn my head and my heart dropped. That wasn't there before. Sitting on the floor in the corner of the bathroom was a tiny sliver ball. The only other people to use that bathroom is my dad and brother, neither of them have piercings. My heart thumped roughly against my chest as I bent down to pick it up. It wasn't the ball to my nose ring, it was a ball to one of my other rings, one that had also met its tragic fate in my bedroom. She can see the ring was sliver, and she knew I wanted a ball. She produced a sliver ball like I had wanted. I don't think it was a coincidence that I found that there. And that made me dread going back into my room. But as soon as I did, I called my friend, and while FaceTiming I recanted everything to her. I stop and look at her with terror in my eyes. "What?" she said. I'm not religious in any way, but when my grandpa's girlfriend had lost oxygen to her brain for only God knows how long, I had prayed to him to make me a believer and for nothing super serious to happen to her. Losing oxygen to your brain for no matter how long can be super serious. Your brain starts to die. And yesterday we visited my grandpa and his girlfriend, and the only thing that happened to her was about the last month of her life was a blank. So last night I tiredly prayed out loud. I asked him to keep me and my home surrounded in his white light, and to keep anything bad away. What if something evil heard me and to mock me came in, and me asking it to prove itself only made it latch on? I asked my friend as her eyes go wide as well. It would make sense, seeing as both my brother and I said it was scaring us and it still continued to interact with us. What if my Ouija board dream was its warning of its presence? The reason I say it is because I don't think my grandma is haunting me, I think something evil is haunting me. I forgot to say this, but I wrote this a little over a week ago, not this past Sunday but the one before that. I just haven't posted it until now. BC, I'm still shook.